folks, and welcome to Geist the Sin Eaters second edition, Second Chances. Uh, this is episode 3. Thank you for joining us today. We've been working on our audio, so please let us know if there are any issues. Hopefully, there won't be any. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Today is Monday, October 16th, 2023. What have you guys been doing over the last 3 days? Who wants to go first?
I will. So we had 3 day actions, and for day one, I decided to hit up Ziggy and his mom during the daytime to see if they knew anything more about the 1998 and 1988 prom murders. Um, Apparently the Museum of Murder and Mayhem has an exhibit on the prom night massacre, and Sybil didn't know too much, and neither did Ziggy, but the museum's owner had newspaper clippings from the incident. And according to the article, the killer was determined by the police to be a lone maniac, but was never caught. Day two, I decided to go look up Myrtle Flynn, who, if you remember, was the person who did the yearbook, the first edition of the yearbook. And apparently, she is now the chief editor of the Whispering Peaks Gazette, which is the city newspaper. And I was able to set up an appointment to meet her with her secretary. And on my last day, I looked into leads on Josie McElroy to see if and went to look if I could find her police reports. And I was able to just put in an order for the police reports, thankfully. I got them. They didn't reveal too much more. They were extremely sanitized, which is information in and of itself. But reports of the crime scene don't mention the piles of bodies seen in Myrtle's photographs. They do mention, however, that Josie McElroy's body was found hanging from the ceiling by her wrists. And that was me.
All right, who's next?
I'll go. So, for my first day, well, the end of last session, our classmates' bodies had been found, and because we had been investigating that particular thing, uh, I I had a dream the night afterwards. Um, Let me pull up all this up. Sorry, I've got so many things I'm juggling right now. Sorry. So, uh, what I saw in my dream was the worried face of Dr. Murphy over at Whispering Peaks Medical Center looking into my eyes. He looked down at a clipboard, shaking his head and sighing. The calendar on the desk read May 2022. That is an extremely recent date, and we just went through the entire history of the newspaper. No mention of dead cheerleaders. This cheerleader must have been alive in the last year, and we would have known someone in our class had died in the cheerleading group. So we've basically confirmed that it could only be one of two people, and the other one is alive. So it's almost certainly Sarah. So I went to visit her parents and offer my condolences. It was not particularly well received, and they are polite but reserved. Be aggressive, however, did not take it well, and I rolled like garbage. Uh, so they ended up unleashing themselves, manifesting, scaring the crap out of uh, her parents, and running off into an alley. I found her several hours later, hiding in a pile of cardboard boxes, shivering, and surrounded by unidentifiable blood and animal fur. So, went great. Um, I spent the next day going to the gym with Ethan. I'm going to let Ethan talk about that one. It's more his stuff than mine. And lastly, I followed up with my fellow gym goers and people I know who talked about the story with me, got as many details as I could. Uh, it's popular but kind of vague reports. Most only can talk about sightings, the blood on things, the him appearing and stuff. But almost everyone who's gone to Houlihan's gym has heard of Meathead before. So leads are kind of limited.
All right. Tips?
Alrighty. So on my first day was started looking into getting a base of operations that's not directly tied to my family's property and uh, someplace that we might be able to get a little bit of plausible deniability with the strange going ons with. We found a couple locations, and I'm going to do a bit more scouting at the individual ones before we make a final decision on that. Second day, I went to the gym with Ty. Um, basically more of this. Yeah, it's basically barely there 20 minutes before we start hearing the hushed whispers and stuff like that before uh, regarding Meathead and um, yeah, basically main thing was there was as soon as as recently as a few weeks ago, there's been reports of weightlifters having to clean blood off their equipment before having to being able to work out. And the third day was I spent with Daffodil, the the head maid ghost, and didn't get too much headway on that one. Right now, she's mostly just a disembodied voice that really only I can hear. So we're gonna need to spend some time building that up before we can have anything to really report on.
All right. Since we've gone over everyone's downtimes, let's go ahead and get started for today. Today was Monday, October 16th, 2023. The first day of school since the little incident that happened. You were introduced to Class B, and absolutely no one wanted to talk to any of you whatsoever. So it was an awkward experience, to say the least. School having let out, the three of you have decided to meet up again. Where are you at?
Do you guys want to meet up in the pool house?
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, guys, you know what we should probably do?
Hmm.
What?
Why don't we head to the cemetery? It's probably not going to be really productive to get anything out of the investigation right now. After all, the cops are actively crawling all over the crime scene. And we don't have anything to offer the people who've got leads in Ghost World. Why don't we be scarce for a little bit?
Smart.
Works for me.
Right.
All right, so you're heading to the Whispering Peaks Memorial Gardens.
Aye, we are.
Yes.
All righty. You guys make your way over to the cemetery. As you've seen before when you were here, the cemetery is divided into two parts. The part that is actively used, the Whispering Peaks Memorial Garden, and the old cemetery, which covers burials before 1900 and before. They are separated by a fence with a gate so you can go through. And even the historical cemetery is fairly well kept up. the worst thing you can say about it is that there's occasionally some tall grass. Now that you're at the cemetery, um, what are you guys going to do here?
Well, I think the first order of business would be to find the Avernian Gate. It's got to be around here somewhere.
There
Do we
was
want to do that
certainly
first?
What? Sorry, I didn't hear you clearly, Lex. What did you say?
I asked if we wanted to do that first.
Didn't we have something else that we should probably do first? The whole officially become a crew thing.
Might not be a bad idea.
well, this is a good place to do it.
I don't
Alrighty.
I don't know what's on the other side, but if officially doing like the ritual and stuff like that to become a crew will give us an edge, I'd rather have it before we go into the underworld than try and make do without it.
That makes a lot more sense. Sorry, I wasn't thinking.
Good.
So we should pull together this ritual. Nathan has today's paper.
The crew
Uh,
binding ceremony.
Let me see if I can't get that pulled up. Shall we throw it up on the screen if I can?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Give me just a moment. Sorry. This was an obvious thing to have ready, but me predicting making plans. All right. So basically, a crew is a set of Geists and anybody else who's joining up with them, and in addition to representing an actual team that we simply are, it also gives us the ability to pool our labor together, and the crew itself gains XP that we can spend to gain resources. It's also going to be really helpful because all of us are fucking teenagers, and if we want to get any reasonable amount of resources, we're probably going to need either some supernatural hookups or somebody who can get a real 9 to 5.
Good
Okay.
points.
I'm sorry, I'm going as fast as I can. I really
The
appreciate
crew
y'all.
binding ceremony requires symbols of your symbols and rituals reflecting the crew's ideals.
All right. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Oh, look, and everything's working. All right, so unfortunately, the opening header for crew binding is back up here, so we're gonna stick down here. So the example they gave, use physical objects or actions deeply connected to the crew's values, dance all night, smear each other with mud sanctified with cool stuff you scavenge and pinky swear to have each other's backs, endure a grueling exam about the finer points of Socratic thought and the virtues of different types of encryption as you work together to draw a perfect triangle in the sand. Do it in reverse to excommunicate a celebrant, stripping them of power and office. All right. Hey, you said you had the paper. How about we grab the obituaries section? Gonna bet there's somebody. Especially
Got it.
today. So we tear that up. Uh,
I think we should set fire to it.
I like it, but let's do something to it first. This is about putting in effort and stuff. Do some nice symbolic stuff for that. Yes, Tibbs?
There's three of us. Blood, sweat, tears.
All right. So in future just you pick one and do it, but since we've got 3 here, we're all gonna do one. I, with all my health boxes, volunteer blood. Either of you able to
Right.
cry on command?
Nathan can.
Well, go work up a sweat, boy. Run around the graveyard until you're feeling ready.
All right. Shouldn't take much.
I reach into the backpack where I've got my hockey bag where I've got my skates, and I nick my finger on it and write my name on the back of the page in blood.
Ghosts are unbothered by the time of day. So when the ghosts of the cemetery notice that the Sin Eaters are here and that the Sin Eaters are performing some type of ritual, they gather to watch one by one.
I apologize.
Nathan takes only a few minutes of thinking about terrible things like kittens without homes to start crying and lets them fall onto his piece of the obituaries.
And after running for a few minutes, Ethan comes back and wipes his forehead with his piece of the obituary.
All right, the dice pool is presence plus manipulation. If you guys would like to do this as a assist roll with one person being the primary roller, that makes sense to me.
Right.
I've got a 5 for presence plus manipulation. What do you guys got?
Probably less than that.
So presence. So you said presence and manipulate?
Presence plus manipulation, yes.
All right, I got a 4.
All right, back to here. Just so I can access my character sheet. All
Um,
right. I have 3, so probably not me.
can I argue that my specialty in expression audience can apply to
You
this?
you definitely have an audience. I'll allow it.
So I guess that's an additional +1, so I'm at 5 as well.
Well, then why don't you assist? I don't think I can hurt with 3 dice because I don't think I qualify for a dramatic failure, so I'll try.
Okay.
All right, so you're both assisting me, correct?
Yep. One success from each of us.
All right, so that's a +2.
Two
Two
successes.
successes. 2 successes. The ghosts around the area marvel as the energies of the underworld well up through the cemetery, having having witnessed the ritual and blessing the induction of a new official crew of Sin Eaters. You all gain 1 point for the mystery cult initiation merit, and you guys need to think up a name for the crew.
Yes, sir. We'll have that by next week.
After all the hoopla has died down, and the ghosts are chattering excitedly among themselves, you hear a familiar voice coming from behind. Shove aside, move it, you guys, move. You see the ghosts moving quickly aside to allow Gus through. His horns are have been put to use against certain more stubborn ghosts as he charges straight up to where you've uh, where you did the ritual.
Hey, Gus.
I've heard whispers that the 3 of you are looking for an underworld gate here.
Yep,
Yes.
that was the plan for today.
It's dangerous down there. I mean, you are kids. I'm not allowing you to go by yourself.
So you're coming with us?
Yes, I'm coming with you.
Cool.
Um, sure. Don't suppose you happen to know what the key to this thing is, do you?
I haven't went to the underworld since we moved here. Gus is interrupted by another familiar voice, higher pitched. You can hear Lucy screaming after him. Gus, where are you? Eventually, she makes her way through. Uh, Her makeup is only half applied. You can see that the purple eyeshadow has only been put on roughly, and she has just thrown on a pair of overalls and a striped shirt underneath it. She's carrying a bag and breathing hard. Gus
Oh,
turns around. Lucy, what are you doing here? She holds up one finger as she catches her breath.
we wait politely. This seems like personal stuff.
After she catches her breath, she looks up. Gus, you can't go down there. You're dead. You can't get back out. I've got them with me. I can follow them just fine. I'll be fine, Luce. Go home. Lucerne bites her lip and says, No. Either you come home with me, Gus, or I'm coming with you. Isn't that right, Kazi?
I remember hearing that we just kind of opened the gate. Didn't you guys? I think we can all go, and I believe I can open the way back out. I'm just gonna be quiet for a while. If I remember what I got told by the great Ave Digger.
Gus and Lucerne have started to have a heated argument, occasionally lapsing into Spanish. While this is going on, what are the three of you doing?
I'm looking around for the ringing gate.
I think this is a personal thing, and I don't want to get involved in this. I'm gonna get back to work on my plans, let them sort it out, and go with whatever they decide, because I wouldn't mind having them here. I came here planning to go in myself. We'll work with what they want, and I wouldn't mind having some allies.
So Nathan said, look for the gate. Are all three of you going to look for the gate, or are some of you going to do elsewise?
I'm gonna start asking the ghosts if they
Oh,
know.
actually, I had an idea. Um, so I got told when I was getting Geist 101 from our resident Geist here that everything gets pulled towards the underworld if it doesn't have like an anchor or something. Um, if I grabbed a cast off out of my grave goods and dropped on the ground, could I just use it like a compass, just see which direction it's getting pulled?
That would certainly work. Yeah.
Oh, make it
Ar-
make it a pendulum.
well, no, I want something that'll be useful because I'm not planning on letting it fall in. So I'm
No,
going to.
so for like scrying, where it's like a string and with a weight on the end.
Oh, I get you. However, I'm pulling a hockey stick, and that's not going to be good for the string bit.
Okay.
I want a weapon while I'm down there. So I'm going to pull a ghostly hockey stick, which I think is probably fine within one value.
Yeah, I don't see how a hockey stick could be more than possibly 2 points of availability. So one seems fine to me.
It can be a bad one.
So you've got yourself a hockey stick. Uh, as always, when it comes to your use of the grave goods merit, You ask be aggressive to manifest, which she does, at least in Twilight, and give it up. She sticks a arm up to her elbow into the rotating rows of teeth that make up her maw and pulls out a hockey stick, only slightly covered in ectoplasm.
I wipe that off, pocket it for later, and get a feel for it. I've not held a lot of ghost items and need to adjust for the weight. And then
Despite
drop it on the ground.
despite the hockey stick being blue and transparent, with mist rolling off of it and disappearing a few inches away, it doesn't feel to your fingers any different than any other hockey stick you've ever held. You can even feel the grain of the wood.
I drop it on the ground and let it move for a couple of inches before picking it back up.
All right, since you currently only have Synergy 1, you do not have the anchor condition as part of your liminal aura. So if you leave an unanchored ghost, including a cast-off, just sitting around, it will eventually start going towards the closest underworld gate. Avernian gates are always found in cemeteries and sometimes found in other places. So from what you've learned from others, the boss's journals, the Mad Undertaker's lectures, you're certain there's one around here. And a few moments of patience pays off. After a few moments of being out of your hands and laying on the ground, the ghostly hockey stick begins to shake and then slide quickly along the ground. Please give, if you want to catch it before it makes its way into the underworld alone, I'm going to need a roll from you.
All
Otherwise,
right.
you can simply follow it.
I am gonna catch it if it's all the same to y'all.
Am I in the direction it's moving?
No.
Yes.
Would you accept strength plus athletics?
How about dexterity plus athletics? It's very quick.
It was worth trying. Well, 6 is
Can I
still pretty
try?
good.
Oh yeah, so
It,
you got six.
Anyone who wants to try it can try it. It's a hockey stick. It's not. There's nothing special about it beyond being a ghostly hockey stick.
3 successes.
The hockey stick speeds along the ground. It has to be going 5, maybe 10 miles per hour. It's absurdly fast. But Ty is also extremely athletic and is able to catch it before it makes its final journey. You look up and find yourself standing near an old mausoleum on the edge of the memorial gardens, right on the cusp of the old cemetery. This mausoleum is not well kept. It's covered in dust and is half submerged in a small pond. The angel statues on either side are broken, with wings and head missing on the left one, and the entire upper body on the right one. If you look hard, you can see some strange patterns on the door to the mausoleum.
So, you guys read the book. That was a lot of books, and a lot of them were allegedly written here. You think you might have mentioned how you get through this door? Because otherwise we're going to have to pick the lock.
Can I roll common sense, Kenny?
Uh,
I think there was a role that you guys got given for remembering stuff from the book, if nothing else.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, remembering a term in the book was intelligence plus academics. I'm looking to see if common sense would apply in this situation. Give me a sec. Common sense. Your character has an exceptionally sound and rational mind. With a moment's thought, she can weigh potential courses of action and outcomes. Once per chapter as an instant action, you may ask the storyteller one of the following questions about a task at hand or course of action. Roll wits plus composure. If you success, the storyteller must answer to the best of their ability. If you fail, you get no answer. With an exceptional success, you can ask an additional question. The four you get is what is the worst choice? What do I stand to lose here? What's the safest choice? And am I following a worthless lead?
Yeah, I'll just take the roll. You said it's intelligence plus academics?
Mhm.
I'm working at a 3 here. I'm pretty sure both of y'all can kick my butt on that one.
Should have just let
Nathan and
Tips do it.
Ethan. Nathan and Ethan put their heads together, and they remember in some of the later sections of the boss's diaries, he mentioned that there was the most convenient Avernian gate for the Scream Shack was the one in the cemetery. He also mentioned that when he figured out the key, he laughed because it was so simple. He said, it's practically written on the door.
Okay.
Okay, so you said there were markings on the door. What kind of markings on the door?
When you look at the door very close, it does look as if there are patterns in the dust, as if someone wrote something on it with their finger, but it's hard to make out. Give me a perception check, please.
That is wits plus composure, right?
Yes.
I have some good eyes. This seems
You might even say
important.
clear eyes.
I have an exceptional success for you.
Wow. That was a really good roll.
Ty peers at the door. Uh, at first, it looks like nothing more than a bunch of squiggles written over each other. But eventually, the lines converge in his eyesight, and he realizes what he's looking at. The letters RIP have been written in the dust over and over each other. The dust has been allowed to settle over older iterations, making it harder to see. But if you look really close, it's right there.
I reach out my finger and trace the letters RIP in another piece of dust somewhere.
When Ty removes his finger from the door, the area he traced with RIP starts glowing a ghostly blue. The doors of the mausoleum open by themselves, letting out a gust of wind that smells musty like an old cave. Looking inside, you can see uh, a narrow set of stairs going into the darkness with nothing to light them. Around this time, you hear footsteps and find Gus and Lucy have joined you. Gus does not look happy, but Lucy is seeming to be set.
Hi there.
Out of her bag, she has pulled a flashlight, and you notice that it's one of those military surplus that you can use to whack someone with.
Lucerne, can I ask you a quick question?
Yep.
I wave the hockey stick. Am I holding anything to you?
Lucerne looks up and says, "You've got a hockey stick, Ghost?"
Okay, just wasn't sure how your bit works. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with you, and I just wanted to know if that's how that worked. Okay.
I see
Take it
ghosts.
you're
That's all you need to know.
all right. Take it you're both coming with us?
Yes, says Ghost begrudgingly.
All right. I don't know anything more than what the old guy told me about this place, so nobody stay more or than arm's reach from each other. We're not getting split up here. Let's get going. Oh,
Nathan produces a long length of 100-pound fishing test to tie us all together by the belt loops, except for Gus, who doesn't have belt loops, and I don't know how to tie him. So,
All right, so fishing line.
yep.
Okay, are you going to anchor that in the ground outside or anything?
Yes, I was going to anchor it to the closest gravestone that is not the Avernian Gate.
All right, you head up to a nearby gravestone. A ghost is standing in the grave with just their head poking out. He looks up at you as you tie the fishing line around the gravestone and says, "Oh, yes, please be my guest, Sin Eater."
my apologies. Do you mind if we use this as a way to find our way home?
Yes, you may. See, was
Thank
that
you
so
Thank
very
you.
hard?
much.
I apologize.
And if you want to be a dear about it, could you ask the Mad Undertaker if he would let me come out occasionally? The last
We'll
time I
ask.
tried, he hit me in the head with a shovel.
We'll ask, but no promises. He
It's
seems
the most I can hope for.
enthusiastic about his particular activities.
You have no idea. He is
Anyway,
much less liberal in the application of the shovel when you're here.
well, I'll do my best to visit more often, if nothing else. I'm gonna go see what the underworld is like. I'll see you on the way back, and I don't know the proper way to thank you. Should I drop some flowers next time I visit? Is that weird?
Oh, that would be very nice, says the ghost, perking up. You notice looking at him, he the skin on his face is very tightly drawn, uh, like a mummified skull. So he definitely looks like he could use something to help strengthen his ghostly essence.
I take a look at the tombstone and write the name down somewhere so I will remember which one it was.
Alrighty. So are you three ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
All right. The group of five of you head through the Avernian Gate. The doors of the mausoleum immediately slam shut behind you. The fishing twine, being as thin as it is not severed, thankfully. But simply pressing on the door, you can see that it is as locked as it ever was.
I promise you I know the way out, but I'm not going to be good for much afterwards.
Okay.
Lucerne points the flashlight down and says, "Okay, kids, since me and Gus are the adults here, are you ready?"
Uh, yeah.
You you've done this before? Yes, sir?
Not here.
Okay. Okay.
What should we be expecting?
A big cave, usually, comments Gus.
Do you guys, did he talk about them in the books at all, you guys? Anything we should be looking out for, or any of the... I heard something about old laws that would be down here. Anything we should
That
be
so
paying attention to?
you only have to worry about the old laws if you go wander into a dead dominion, and we're probably not doing that, hopefully. The
Sorry.
things that rule those domains impose rules on the dead and the living that come in. Gus simply points down at the staircase, pointing to a trickle of water coming in from under the mausoleum door. That probably goes to one of the rivers, he says. If you follow it, you're bound to find something.
Yeah, let's just follow the river. Works in every bit of exploring I've ever heard.
Nathan busts into a song from Blue's Clues and starts marching down the stairs.
Lucerne puts the flashlight down and makes her way down. You follow. Down, down, down. The stairway is very well carved, but old and worn, as if hundreds of feet have walked down it over the years, maybe thousands. The stairs continue down and down. Eventually, when you're beginning to wonder just how long you've been climbing, the stairs level off, and you find yourself leaving a very short hallway and coming into a very large cavern. It's massive and dark. The cave, it looks like it's bigger than a football stadium, maybe multiple football stadiums put together. You can barely see the wall of the cavern more than 10 feet away. The only thing that you can to really guide yourself by is that, other than Lucy's flashlight, is the sound of the water trickling down the stairs. Lucy follows it with the flashlight, showing that a small stream has gathered from the water and is flowing down. You notice that the floor of the cave is pointing downhill ever so slightly. Every step you take takes you further down, down, down.
I take up the rear guard position, keeping an eye out for anything as we head on further in.
All right. Someone give me a chance die roll, please.
I'm
Not
not
it.
feeling lucky. Sorry, Tibbs. Looks like you.
No luck.
Ethan steps into a puddle of gooey blue ectoplasm. Looking at it, it seems to go off to the left for about 6 feet. And just beyond it, you can hear something scrabbling and what hears like voices.
Should
Here
we
to
investigate?
We're here to explore, aren't we? Hey, look. It's blue. We found ourselves a ghost print. That's the first clue.
Well, Ethan, you're the one who stepped in it. Do you go and follow too?
I take a look around for a moment. Well, we have two options here. We can either continue. We can either follow this and see where it leads us, Or we can see the sources of the water trickling in. We might be able to find other Vernian gates. Shortcuts around town. Or at least unmonitored shortcuts around town.
I don't think that we won't be able to do that bit on the way out if we want. There's nothing stopping us going through any gate we like on the way out.
All I'm saying, right now, we're not in a rush. That might not be the case when we're coming out.
Ah, you make a valid point, but I also am very curious what this thing is, and we will not find it on the way if we do something else. There's no way we're getting precisely back here. Nathan, what do you think?
Hey Gus, how dangerous is this to go look into?
Gus shrugs. I haven't been down here. I know that there's a lot of things in the underworld, and not everything here has been alive before. The underworld's got natives. Some of them are less friendly than others, but the ones that you mainly got to look out for are the ones in the water. Usually, if they're on land, you don't have to worry too much as long as you don't mess with them too badly.
Okay, then I think we should look.
All right, let's go. So,
All right. So we follow all the footprints.
The group follows the trail of ectoplasm about 100 yards away from the water, and eventually you find what made it. Crawling on the ground before you, you find a creature. It appears to be something like a centipede. Its body composed of 3 human spines intertwined around each other. Instead of legs, it seems to have skeletal finger bones. And in front, quietly chewing on some bluish gray grass, is the bone pale face of an infant. The centipede thing has been covered in what looks to be flayed human skin, covered in various symbols and runes. There are a few ghosts kneeling before it. They're all emaciated, like mummies in the very last stages of mummification. One of them is crawling towards the head of the creature, holding a bowl full of various underworld plants. They put the bowl in front of the creature and wait for a moment. It starts to chew on the plants, and the ghost claps its hands and begins to cry in joy, kneeling with its forehead on the ground.
Gus, I don't suppose you have any idea what the hell this is.
yeah,
If you said something, I didn't hear it.
Gus, I don't suppose you have any idea what the hell this is.
Uh, he shrugged and says, "An underworld native, a Chthonian."
I would say that it's uncomfortable. This is making me uncomfortable.
One of the ghosts seems to have noticed you and sits up from its prayer, uh, glowering at you with emaciated, rotted eyes. This is our Lord. He feeds us the ectoplasm he creates as he walks. Are you here to join us in worship?
Sorry, just visiting. Didn't mean to disturb your prayer.
The ghost sniffs angrily and says, if you are not interested in the bringers of our salvation, then you can just leave and go hang out with the rest of the apostates in the city.
Absolutely. Sorry, we got a little turned around. Which way was that?
Another ghost sits up from their prayer. This one's somewhat less emaciated and with a few strands of hair clinging to their flesh on their skull. It points back in the direction you came and says, follow the sticks and you'll get there in probably 30 minutes.
The sticks?
Yeah, the river Styx.
Oh, right. That would make sense. That would make perfect sense because we are in the underworld. Okay. Thank you. We will follow the river Styx.
The ghost that fed the Chthonian the plants uh, hasn't bothered speaking with you. While you've been having this conversation, they looped around to the back of the Chthonian creature, where it's leaving ectoplasm as it walks and is happily and hungrily shoving it into its face. As they notice that you're looking at them, they smile and say, you can't have any. You didn't bring an offering.
I will be sure to bring an offering next time. So, should we head back to the river?
Yeah, let's do that. You cool with that, Ethan?
Yeah, let's leave these guys to themselves. This is awkward.
The group goes back to where they were following the trail of ectoplasm back to the stream. Following the stream, it does, as Ethan had figured, join several other small streams coming from uphill in various directions. Within about another 5 minutes or so, enough of these streams have come together to form a spring from which flows a river. It smells chemical, as if tasting its waters would burn your tongue.
I didn't learn a lot from the conversation I had with the Mad Gravekeeper, but I do remember that drinking this shit is really bad news and you shouldn't do it. So don't do that.
Fair enough.
Gus snorts. The different rivers of the underworld can have different effects too. I haven't come across the Styx in my travels, but I've heard some of the myths about it from Topside, and I wouldn't try it. One of the things that you notice while you're walking is that Gus has no longer the translucent blue that you have come to associate with ghosts. He has when the light of Lucy's flashlight falls on him, You can see his dark brown skin, the black hair on his arms and head, and the bone-like horns. The scarf he has wrapped around his neck, and the short sleeve t-shirt that he's wearing. It's white, and he is wearing blue jeans.
You hit color TV era.
He shrugs. We're in the underworld. There's no twilight here. There's no
Really?
difference between living and ghost.
Lucy, catch! I tossed the hockey stick to them.
The hockey stick, now likewise a dark brown wood, is caught by Lucy very easily. She passes it back to you.
Sorry, I don't know how else to check. That's neat. Should have just brought my real one, I guess.
And you
Is
should
this
also
one?
pay a little more attention to yourselves, says Gus. You are standing out.
Uh, how about we take a moment and look at each other? In what way are we standing out?
Looking around at each other and the group around you, you notice two things. First, you've taken on the wounds of your death. Please describe what you look like currently.
I am literally covered in third-degree burns. Every inch of me. Every single inch of me is covered in burns because I was literally covered in molten metal as I died. I don't know how far they go down, but we did start from the top.
You also notice that while the wounds are there, they do not hurt.
Nathan looks perfectly normal, exactly normal, absolutely normal, until he turns around and does not have an entire back of his skull.
And Ethan?
You're
You
muted.
are.
Sorry. All four of my limbs are look like they're ghosts. I'm not sure how else to represent that.
Oh, I got an idea.
Hmm.
Big ol' tear wounds around the center of you.
Okay.
Like just from right down here, just like a big ol' rip. Like your limbs have just been placed back next to each other after being ripped apart.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with that.
The second thing that you notice is that within your liminal auras, underworld vegetation springs up. Grass, flowers, plants, small ghostly bugs. As soon as you move away and the plants and bugs are outside of your aura, they wither to dust again. But at least within your liminal aura, life is surging.
Huh.
Am I able to focus and stop doing that?
Alrighty, let's talk about liminal auras briefly, because there is a way to suppress them.
Because, yeah, that's the thing that ghosts can use to identify us immediately, and we are tourists today.
Bear with me just briefly.
So, guys, while Kenny's looking this up, the plan is to get down here, get a lay of the land, maybe see if there's a source for information or resources we can get down here. I believe that's
All
what
right.
we had on the books.
The liminal aura and its effects can be suppressed by increasing or reducing the condition. You can spend one willpower to increase the level of the condition that your liminal aura creates by 1, or to reduce it by 1. And you can do this multiple times. I'm considering no condition to be the base. You still have a liminal aura, although it doesn't have a condition. So those of you who have 1 synergy can spend 1 willpower to suppress it for a scene, and Nathan, who has a synergy of 2, will need to spend 2 willpower to suppress it for a scene.
And the scene is until we leave, right?
Until something
No,
dramatic happens.
Yeah, a scene is an event.
All right, I will.
Why don't we suppress when we see the city? Because I feel like the city is going to be a scene.
And do you want to have to suppress it or not? Are you sure? Yes, you will stand out. Absolutely. They'll immediately know you're Sin Eaters.
To be fair, we're making connections down here. We have no reason to believe this is a hostile thing to do, to show up.
Yeah, I only get 5 willpower, so spending 2 of them just to suppress my aura seems kind of shit.
Especially if we have a scene transition down there and that brings you down to 1. I think we should risk it. What do you think, Ethan?
Rose has requested hydrates, even though we don't have the clout yet to get that. So let's hydrate for her. Hello, Rose.
Until we've got that, I'm going to say that anybody who's talked in chat before who says hydrate can get us to do it once per show.
Yeah.
One of these days, Twitch will give us affiliate status, and then we can have hydrate button again.
By the way, we're going to be setting up some stuff to help work towards that. Keep your eyes posted and watch the Twitter and Blue Sky profiles.
Yeah, we're setting up a Discord server for one, as soon as I can figure out how Discord actually works.
I called it! Good to see ya!
Howdy, called it.
Glad you're all here. Missed you guys.
So, after having your discussion, the group follows the sticks, and eventually you come to the shores of what appears to be a small lake. In the center of it, there are lights, lots of them. They illuminate what appears to be a round man-made island with bridges reaching across it. You can see 3 other rivers that pass through this gate, this lake, and exit on the other side, like the spokes of a wheel. It makes it look like this is an 8-spoked wheel, since there's 4 separate rivers passing through. At certain areas, the rivers have been dammed off with makeshift ramshackle dams. They're far off from where you're at, but you can see them being patrolled by a number of ghosts. There are also a number of boats sailing on the lake. The city itself, it's huge compared to Whispering Peaks. It looks to be, you'd guess, about half the size of Denver.
Wow. That's pretty intense. I've been to Denver.
Huge.
I've been to Denver once for a tournament, but that's about it. Not tournament, a big game, you know what I mean. Sorry, I don't sports in real life.
A few moments after it comes into view, you find a bridge that you can cross. It's made of random bits of wood and corrugated iron and whatever bits they can find as well. There's likewise a makeshift sign right before the bridge. Welcome to Purgatory Junction, a Giltco project.
GILT or GUYLT?
GILT.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like we've found Purgatory Junction.
Okay. Sorry to keep asking the same stupid questions over and over, Gus, us, and Lucerne, but I don't suppose you've heard of any of these words before.
Gus shrugs and Lucerne shakes her head. She says, the boss has gone down to the underworld here before, but he hasn't told me much of anything. Mostly just bringing things back and telling me to study them.
Hey, book folk, any of these things stirring anything? If we can go in even a little bit prepared, it might be a good idea, and if something has recently changed, that's also worth knowing.
All right, can I do another one of the remember stuff out of the book rolls?
Yeah, sure. Intelligence plus academics.
2 successes.
Yep, and that's a success. Looks like Nate failed. So it's just Ethan who remembers this one. There were a few passing mentions of Purgatory Junction in the diary, in the boss's diaries. Lucy's boss noted that it's one of the few places in the underworld that he'd found since leaving Las Vegas, where people had any semblance of a normal life. He mentioned here that this was a trading town, and he could barely believe it. What did ghosts have to trade? He also mentioned that there is some sort of mine in the center, but none of the guards would let him get close.
Are there any passersby, like any ghosts nearby?
Give me just a moment. Time for me to make a chance roll here. Yes, Void. As soon as we can get uh, affiliate status, we're implementing channel points. Just right now, we are starting our channel from the ground up. So hopefully we can grow enough to get channel points and stuff soon. In regards to the passersby, uh, there are a few ghosts wandering around the shores. Uh, some of them look as though they had been walking towards the bridge until they saw you. But now they're simply watching.
I call out to whichever one looks the friendliest and beckon them over.
Okay. Uh the ghost happily comes over. Uh he's about 5.5 feet tall. He's wearing a bandana and uh a tunic made out of random bits and pieces of cloth that have been badly sewed together, uh, cinched by a bathrobe belt around his waist. A couple of much larger and much heavier and more muscular ghosts are following him. One of them carrying what appears to be a chicken. The ghost looks up at you and grins. Sin eaters! He spreads his arms wide and goes, We haven't seen any of you in, must be years on the top side. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. How are
Nice to
you?
Doing all the better for seeing you guys here. Come on, just across the bridge. My stall. I was just heading back to my stall. Uh, I've got some free skewers for you guys. My treat.
That sounds amazing. Would you mind telling me a little bit about Purgatory Junction and Guilt Company?
As you follow the ghost across the bridge, he talks. Oh yeah, guilt. Guilt company. Uh, who knew you'd have to work when you're dead, huh? But at least when I arrived here, uh, I don't know how long ago it was started, but the Lord Paramount of the city has a chartered company set up here under his name, Gilt Skull.
Huh.
You arrive to a very large food stall with several ramshackle stools around it. He goes behind the stall and talks to another ghost. This one looking like a 30-something-year-old woman, likewise wearing rags, uh, who is tending a what appears to be a full-size hibachi grill. On it, there are a handful of chicken skewers. The one of the armed muscular ghosts hands the chicken around to the ghost that you've been talking to, who puts her in a extremely heavy duty metal cage and locks it with 4 separate locks. Then he looks back up at you and grins. So, teriyaki with spice, without, what do you like? How about ectoplasm?
I'll take your recommendation.
He hands you each, all 5 of you, a chicken skewer. So 3 sin eaters, and is that a living person?
Well, as they say, for now.
Lucy frowns and says, "None of your business." The the ghost throws up his hands conciliatorily, says, "Hey, hey, I know how it is. We get all kinds in Purgatory Junction. Folks sailing down." Folks sailed down from here, from the Styx, the Sanzu, the Huber, and the Gyul, from all parts of the underworld.
Well, that's worth knowing. So, I try one of the chicken skewers, and regardless of its flavor, show enthusiasm for it.
What about the rest of you? You want to take a bite?
Which flavor did he give me?
Whatever you want.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic.
Ethan?
When in Rome.
All right. The ghost seems somewhat disappointed that Nathan refused a skewer, but for the rest of you, the skewers are surprisingly good.
Live a little, Nathan. Come on.
He's allergic.
He's dead, points out Gus.
Yeah, but it must be really intense chicken if you have to put 4 locks on the cage.
The ghost who handed you the skewers grins. He goes, "You would not know what people would do to get a hold of Letty." The
That
chicken, Letty apparently, looks at looks at the five of you with one insane bird-like eye and goes.
So
All right. Letty has convinced me. Nathan tries a small bite.
It is pretty good, even if you're allergic and it makes the top of your mouth burn. So how do you
uh,
guys like it?
so I gotta ask. You mentioned Letty here by name, and I noticed there's only the one cage here. But you do seem to have an awful lot of chicken. How do you get this much chicken out of an alive bird? Well, alive, you know what I mean.
Letty's a ghost, same as us. Every morning I chop her head off, dress her for cooking, make some skewers, and then every evening I go down to the shore with my boys to pick her up where she's reformed.
Oh,
As long as I keep her well fed, she'll keep coming back. I just got to make sure she doesn't fall into the water before she dies again, and we're set.
sounds like a good business model.
She's the only chicken bar geist in the city. He grins. She's worth her weight in gold.
I bet.
Everyone else are having to deal with rats, dogs, but I sell genuine chicken. And of course, he sniffs. Some folk are willing to eat a lot less savory things. Paper, wood, other ghosts.
Sounds like you're a enterprising sort of man.
He looks over at the three of you. Sure do. Sure am. You can call me Cookie.
Well, I don't suppose you're considering expanding your menu if you had the chance.
He looks over at Nathan and says, "You look like you're the man to talk to. Is your pal talking shit?"
No,
Sorry.
I don't believe so. I mean, we're pretty much as good as our word.
Well, he looks among the three of you. I would absolutely love to expand. I already went from selling on a griddle on the floor to this stall. If I could make this into a full building, Gilt Skull'd have to let me into Old Town then.
Just
Where's Old Town?
Uh, where's Old Town? Well, if you take a right from if you go over here and take a right, you'll hit the Dead Mall. And then you follow along the outside of that, and you'll come across the fence keep around Old Town.
Sir,
Kenny. Sorry.
is there anything we should know? And Ethan puts a bag of Skittles on the counter, like actual Skittles.
Cookie's eyes gleam with greed. Candy. Oh, I couldn't. Then he snatches it and says, "Okay,
Consider an investment in having an open-minded friend here.
But and as soon as he says that, Ethan gives a bag of candy to everyone he came with.
uh, the ghosts crewing Cookie's stall are extremely happy to get to get any candy. They're chattering amongst themselves as if you had given them a stack of $100 bills. In fact, you're starting to draw a crowd. Cookie leans in and says, okay, first off, Gilt Skull's gonna like notice you guys if he hasn't already. Uh, and he ain't happy right now. About a couple weeks ago, there was a bit of an incident. And he's been on the lookout for who did it. And you being Sin Eaters are going to be the prime suspects.
Well, wasn't 2 weeks ago, was it?
Yeah, about 12 days.
I'm gonna ask a real stupid question. Did anybody happen to see who did it?
A big old chain came from above with an anchor on it and destroyed a few houses in Old Town. There's a platform attached, and the platform hit the ground. Uh, well, the ghosts on that platform aren't talking.
Huh. We should probably go look into that. So, Cookie, what do you think about the words beef?
Cookie's eyes gleam as though you had suggested giving him solid gold or diamonds. He looks back over at Nathan. Telling the truth, you guys can get a hold of beef.
I ain't promising anything, but I'm gonna take a look into it for you, if you're interested. But of course, I'd
If
need to be sure I've got a buyer before I go through all that work.
if I could sell hamburgers, I would definitely make it on into Old Town. Maybe even get me a seat on the council. He licks his lip. You got it. You got it, kid. I knew it was a good thing to see Sin Eaters wandering around down here again.
Kenny, can I ask some questions out of character real quick?
Yeah,
I'm gonna make some assumptions. We're in a little mountain town. I'm guessing that the area around here probably has some ruralness to it.
yeah, there's ranches. There's the grocery store in town, Farmer Kimball's.
I'm gonna guess that I know somewhere where there are probably cows that do not, just live forever being cows and get occasionally turned into meat in some capacity.
That's usually a thing that happens at a ranch with a slaughterhouse. Yeah,
So yeah, we could probably go visit one of those and grab a bargeist if we were quick about it.
certainly give it a shot. Or you could just buy some hamburger to give to him.
Oh, absolutely, but you see, what he's got here is a renewable resource. And that to me sounds like something he'd be willing to pay an awful lot for and also be willing to say, uh, be sponsoring us on our way into Old Town and going around where we need to and provide us what information we need. We need friends down here. And permanency buys friends.
Good point.
And if
So
our
what
friend
next,
has a
folks?
seat on the that platform sounded really important, and I think we've done about as much good as we can here. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
All right. So are you gonna where are you gonna go? Are you gonna follow his Cookie's directions, or are you gonna go somewhere else?
I mean, we could head straight to Old Town. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Sound
let's let's give it a try. I'd also like to kind of gauge the atmosphere of the town as we go too.
All
I
right.
think that's sounds like something we could throw dice at. Uh,
Before we go, Cookie,
Yeah.
what's the most fun thing to do in Purgatory Junction?
If you're not going to shop at the Dead Mall, there's always the other side. It's a hotel with a bar.
Dead Mall,
Okay.
huh? Can we get the directions for that before we leave as well?
Yeah, he tells you where to find it since you would have to pass by it to get to Old Town.
I'm sorry, guys. The Dead Mall, we are definitely going to need to hit that before we leave.
Yeah.
But I'm more curious about the platform right now.
I wonder if they have a cold topic.
Oh no, it's just they've got like EB games and stuff.
Hey Tibbs, can you unban Void?
Did I ban him?
Yes, you banned him.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that.
What happened?
I was. I'm sorry about that. I
Uh,
was. That was not. That was not intentional. I was. I was looking at things, and I guess I misclicked. I'm so sorry.
Hey man, we all do it.
you should.
Hopefully, no hard feelings.
Hey, like, uh, maybe a message. Um.
Yeah, I sent one.
Anyways, sorry about that. Uh, we're all still learning in a lot of capacities. Anyways, so why don't we head towards Old Town and go poke at that? Because I would rather be actively searching for the thing and be there to intercept Mr. Gilt Skull before he tracks us down in a rage.
Yeah, absolutely. We should head this one off at the pass.
Aggressive innocence.
All right. So you follow Cookie's directions. Looking around, you notice that Purgatory Junction is essentially built on a artificial island in the middle of the lake. The lake itself being artificial and created from the damming of the four underworld rivers. The streets are mostly made of wood planking. And usually just ghosts are on there. Here and there, you'll see an occasional ghost on a bicycle or a horse, but these are anomalies. Most of the ghosts are wearing whatever rags or whatever uh, garments they can get their hands on. You see a couple ghosts wearing something that looks like a Farmer Kimball's uniform. A couple ghosts wearing bathrobes, several wearing what appears to be whatever they were buried in, but the majority of them are simply wearing rags. Um, you notice as you walk, the buildings are a mix. You're seeing buildings that span the last 150 years of architecture. Um, just put together in a jumble without any rhyme or reason. And between and around them are shanties built out of whatever material that could be scavenged. Wood, corrugated iron, cardboard, chicken wire. Um, this means that the city is hard to navigate at the best of times. There are candles here and there to light the way, being put out in uh, intervals of about 100 meters in little glass lamps. They look like they were forged down here because they appear to be fairly clumsily made. After about 10 minutes of walking in the direction, the three of you hear a noise in one of the alleyways. It sounds like someone quietly moaning.
I look down the alleyway.
What was that? I couldn't quite hear you.
I look down the alleyway.
Nathan sees a group of ghosts huddled in the alleyway on the ground. They're on their knees, gathered around something. They are putting, you can't quite see what they're doing, but they appear to be putting something in their mouth, eating and chewing in silence. Whatever they're gathered around, it continues to moan.
I walk closer.
Ty sees that the group of ghosts are gathered around one of their own, another ghost who has been knocked to the ground. This ghost, they have ripped away the ghost's shirt and are ripping chunks of flesh out, exposing ghostly organs and meat, eating eating whatever they can get a hold of. Their face is covered in ichor and ectoplasm. They haven't seemed to notice you, but the ghost that is being eaten opens one eye, the other appearing to have been torn out bodily, and moans, "Help me."
So, I would like to refresh my I willpower using my root, which is servant. I have had a request made of me by one of the dead, which is what the root connects to do a task for them, and I intend to do that task.
Okay, are you missing willpower? Because you just had 3 days of rest.
Yeah, but I've used one today.
Oh, fair enough, sure. Just wanted to make sure that you actually were getting something for it. But yes, I agree.
All right. Okay. Just out of character, real quick. Are you guys okay if I beat the shit out of some random ghosts who are committing cannibalism in front of us?
Can I try to talk them down first?
You have one roll.
Okay. Penny, I would like to use my composure and my persuasion with my expertise in de-escalation to get these guys to stop eating the other ghost.
Okay, make a roll and tell me what you're saying.
All right, so I got 3 successes, and Nathan draws himself up, takes a deep breath, squares his shoulders, uses every ounce of speech and debate he's ever used, and he looks at each one of them, and he goes, "I implore you, is this who you want to be remembered as?"
So it's also needs to be noted here that your presence has made a bit of a stir, and people have watched you wherever you go. You and the group of ghosts committing ectophagia are no longer alone in the alley. Several ghosts have poked their heads in to see what's happening. Uh, the ghost look one of the ghosts who appears to be eating a liver pulls it out of his mouth, looks from Nate to the ghosts who are watching, and back. Then he takes a look at Ty, and without saying anything, throws the organ to the ground and runs as fast as he can. The other ghosts with him follow.
I reach down to the injured individual and I have a dot in medicine. I know that to an extent this man is definitely fucked up beyond all recognition. Can I try and do something that would at least stabilize whatever is going on here? Or is that a ridiculous statement?
First aid. I know. Well, give me just a second. I believe that's wits plus medicine. Give me just a sec. Go to make sure.
I have clear Scotch tape, if that'll help.
Yeah. Wits plus medicine, please. And with the Scotch tape, I'll give you a +1.
Thank you. I'm gonna need to start packing some medical kit here. Um,
Oh, I also have a first aid kit.
can we use that instead?
Yeah, that's probably a better idea than the tape. I'll let you re-roll. Give me just a second to see because I don't remember offhand what a first aid kit's equipment bonus is.
All right, so that's 4 plus whatever the bonus he says plus 3. And remember to add the bonus this time, Jeff.
I have
'Cause I
no
know
clue
it
why
don't.
I thought Scotch tape would be helpful.
To be
Better than
fair,
nothing.
I have been I have had tape used on me at the hospital before.
Better to hold things in with whatever you've got than nothing. And honestly, I don't want to tear my shirt here. Looks like clothes are pretty valuable here. I don't want to be burning them. And I like this jersey.
All right. In the interest of not taking a million years to find it, let's just say +3 because I'm still looking.
We'll find it for next game. Anyways, 2 successes.
So it helps to patch up the ghost better than the Scotch tape did, but the Scotch tape is still useful to keep gauze and things bound. After a few moments of work, you've done what you can for the ghost. He has had organs ripped out of his body. After a few moments of simply laying there on the ground, you hear him croak, "Get the father, please." Then, before he says anything else, you can see the ectoplasm making up his body, swirling and reconstituting. Uh, the holes in his body are gone, but you've noticed that uh, the ghost looks to be in much worse shape overall. Uh, the skin is clinging very tightly to his bones. He puts you in mind of someone who hasn't eaten in months with 0% body fat and heavily undernourished, though just a moment or two ago, despite being ripped open, he looked fairly healthy otherwise.
I'm going to I believe we've mentioned that we collected some ectoplasm earlier, and I noticed that we had ectoplasm get eaten up there by ghost people, and it worked for them, though it wouldn't work on the surface, so maybe that would help here? Is that dumb? I got a
Here
point of
in the
plasm?
underworld, there is no state of twilight. Normally, a ghost can't consume ectoplasm because they can't touch it.
So it does work here. So could I give him a point of plasm and maybe he'd be doing a little better?
All right. So you gathered a point of plasm when you met the Chthonian. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to give it to the ghost?
Yeah.
Uh, he happily eats it, and you notice the flesh on his bones filling out a little. He looks less like someone about to die of starvation and more like someone who is simply very malnourished. He lays back
There.
on the ground and croaks, "Thank you, but please, I need to see the father.
I turn around to the crowd of waiting ghosts and ask where the father is.
A couple of the ghosts run off, and a moment or two later, come back with a third ghost. This ghost looks to be a short old man. He has wispy white hair, uh, most of it gone, but what's left combed backwards and plastered back with river water. Um, he's wearing rags like the others, but his rags have been sewn into a black frock with a white clerical collar, or at least an approximation of it. He steps forward. I am Father Calavera, he says to the group of you. Oh, no, sin eaters, and so young. Dios mio. So he looks down. I see they caught another one.
We
I
chased
did
them away.
I did what I could for him, but sorry I wasn't exactly prepared for this.
Ectophagia is a crime here. People do it because it's better than hunger or eating some of what Guilt Skull pays. But to be caught is to be sentenced to the pit.
That doesn't sound good. The pit that no one's allowed to enter?
The pit in the center of the city is a mine. It was here before the city. I remember it well. But since Guilt Skull set up shop here, he has the pit fenced off and guarded, and he has prisoners mining it. Committing a transgression gets you sentenced to the pit, or, if you're lucky, to building or the dams.
What are they mining in the pit?
That I don't know, my child.
Anyways, I get out of his way to let him tend to the member of his flock.
Father Calavera uh, uh, snaps at a couple of nearby ghosts in Spanish. They immediately step to and help the victim of ectophagia to his feet. Bring him to the church, he says. I will be along presently to administer medical care. He then turns back to you, and you see that his old eyes are full of sorrow. He looks like he's about to cry, but he's doing his best to hold it back. This happens frequently. We will take care of it. Please do not worry. But, Dios mio, your children. He looks from the three of you, uh, and then to Gus and Lucerne. And she's alive. Why are you here? Lucy snaps back. None of your business, old man. I'm here with the kids.
We
He
were told we need
shrugs.
we were told we needed chaperones.
The underworld is very dangerous, says Father Calavera. As you can see, even other ghosts can be dangerous. Death makes you desperate.
As above, so below.
No, he shakes his head. The living think they know desperation, but they do not.
Oh no, I mean, same as it is on the surface for ghosts.
No, ghosts on the surface also think that they know desperation, but they do not. The underworld is a place of death. But, he shrugs, we have done what we can to make it comfortable. Even as dangerous as it is, this is where the dead belong. And we must make of it what we must, if we wish the Lord to let us leave this state of purgatory.
In his name we pray.
So, he says, are the three of you looking to find Gilt Skull and perhaps get work?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, it will be good to have Sin Eaters here. I'm sure he can find jobs for you. We will make you very comfortable, as much as we can. You will not miss the surface. I trust you. I, I, I promise you.
In a move reminiscent of Ethan, Nathan fumbles about in his backpack for a moment and pulls out a half-crunched granola bar and hands it over to the priest.
He takes it gratefully and says, "Thank you, my son. Perhaps I will see you again soon, after you've found a place to live. Perhaps you can come to the church."
We'll be sure to visit.
I think there's been a misunderstanding here.
Father Calavera raises a white eyebrow. What do you mean?
We're not staying.
He looks shocked. But why, my child? The dead belong below. Surely your friends here are simply bringing you to your rest.
No,
We
we're
we have
not.
we have unfinished business above, but we wish to help as much as we can. Now I'm afraid that we have work to do.
I understand, as do I. Father Calavera turns and heads off, slowly and shakily.
Let us get moving. I think we are drawing too much a crowd.
Yep, let's head out towards the mall.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's
When
gonna
we
be a
head
bit.
for the, yeah, let's hit the mall first, because I suspect we're gonna find our way to the platform whether we like it or not.
All right, so you guys want to head to the Dead Mall then?
Yeah.
It's on the way anyway.
It is. So again, leaving the alley and heading, following Cookie's directions. You find yourself in front of a large and familiar building. The Whispering Peaks Mall was demolished in 2014, having closed in 2009. But yet, here it is. Every brick, every parking space accounted for. The doors wide open. Although several shanties have been built surrounding it, to the point that the mall is somewhat buried, it's unmistakable.
Well, there's nothing better to do at a mall than wander around window shopping. Let's get a lay of the land, shall we? Um, I'll wits plus streetwise to get a look at the place, find anything that might be interesting.
Sure. Do all three of you want to roll? Or do you want to do a teamwork action or just one of you?
Got a 5 on that if anyone's smarter than me.
Which one was it? What roll?
I threw wits plus streamwise, but you could probably sell them on something that's better for your dice pool. I,
We've been here before. We've lived here all of our lives.
we
Can I
definitely went
roll?
to.
Go ahead.
We've definitely been to this mall before.
As children, maybe. It was closed down in 2009.
Yeah, but how many times were we as children brought here and dragged around by our parents because they had no ability to get rid of us?
That's a point. So what were you saying?
What would I roll to find a store from my childhood memory?
Hmm.
What's
Okay.
the dice pool for eidetic memory?
Do you have eidetic memory?
I do,
I,
but I reckon it would be the same thing to remember something like that.
Wait, you've got eidetic memory?
Yeah, and
Shit, dog.
and encyclopedic knowledge.
Shit. Why don't you just take us there? If you've been here, you'd know. That's what eidetic memory does. You just know.
No, there's a dice pool to it. Give me a sec.
Let me find it real quick. Maybe it's in the.
Your character
There we go.
recalls events and details with pinpoint accuracy. You do not have to make rolls for your character to remember past experiences. When making intelligence plus composure or relevant skill rolls to recall minute facts from swaths of information, take a +2 bonus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would say in this case, intelligence plus streetwise or intelligence plus composure plus the +2.
okay.
For those of you who don't have eidetic memory, no +2.
Hibbs, I need you to find the newsstand.
The newsstand. Okay. That way.
All right. Ethan is able to point the way and takes you to the place where the newsstand would have been. Inside the mall appears to have been heavily altered. While you can see signage around you that is certainly composed of bits and pieces of the original signage, most of the original stores are not here. They appear to be different stores manned by much more well-to-do ghosts. This appears to be the sort of place that the richer folk of Purgatory Junction would go to shop. The newsstand, when you find it, is there, but is no longer serving as a newsstand. It has new signage composed up stating that it sells jewelry. The ghost behind it smiles and waves, pointing to a ramshackle case sitting on the stand, filled with what appears to be random rings and necklaces, lockets, wedding rings, a few uh, class rings, and what appears to be a Super Bowl ring.
Don't have anything of value to trade on me that I want to give up right now.
Are there any class rings from Whispering Peaks High? Say 88?
You know what? Roll me a chance die.
That would be hilarious if there were. You normally get those at the start of the year, don't you? Plenty in time for prom.
Want to use a willpower and reroll?
Yes.
I'll allow it.
2 successes! Somehow.
You find a pristine looking class ring for Whispering Peaks High dated 1988. The ghost at the stall allows you to look at it, and you see that the inside has its name inscribed in it. Myrtle Flynn.
Oh my dear sweet god.
I
Okay,
have
everyone.
What do they want for it?
The ghost at the stall asks, "What have you got?"
Hey guys, let's turn out our pockets mentally, and then we're gonna figure out what we're willing to trade out. Um,
Can I do a let's see here, intelligence and empathy to see the minimum that the ghost will take?
I still think we're gonna
Yeah,
have to figure out what we got, though.
Yeah. Intelligence, empathy, something I'm good at.
I mean, we've been getting plenty of examples of trade and what people find valuable here, so he's got a good bit to work on.
Mhm.
so you look the ghost up and down, as well as taking a look around you and taking it in. This ghost appears to be much more well off than the others. This ghost wouldn't look out of place striding the surface, looking like a healthy, living human. What they're wearing, however, would seem very out of place. The shirt is a basketball jersey, and the pants that they're wearing are a pair of uh, dress suit pants. The shoes are not matching. One loafer and what appears to be one high heel. They're wearing jewelry themselves, but the jewelry all appears to be plastic friendship bracelets and things like that. If
All right.
this is what ghosts consider middle class, you get the feeling that lots of things that you have on you would entice them.
I I step up, taking off my shirt, putting it on the counter. The class ring and the Super Bowl ring.
The ghost bites her lip. I smell food. If you have some food on you, throw that in and it's a deal.
Chocolate. Would you like chocolate or jerky?
Meat.
Nathan? I believe you have some on you.
The jerky is meat, but yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have jerky and trail mix, and I pop them both on the counter. One as payment and the other as a tip.
The ghost happily takes the shirt and the jerky, smiling broadly, and sets the class ring and the Super Bowl ring on the counter. Thank you very much.
Hey there. So, if you get anything from this year's senior year round here, and you set it aside for me, I might have a pair of matching shoes that could make its way to you in exchange for it.
The ghost licks her lips hungrily and nods.
What's your size?
She gives you 5.5.
I make a big show of noting it down. Pleasure doing business with you.
So you have the two rings.
If it's all the same to you, I don't trust either of you to move around with valuables, but you're welcome to keep the Myrtle one if you really want, Nathan.
If you could keep it safe while we're here, And I'll take it back from you when we get up there. That would be great.
So I have on, because I was expecting a certain amount of violence, my hockey pads, and this is going between my flesh and my hockey pads. If you want to get at there, you're gonna have some real fucking work to do.
Lucy whistles through her teeth. I can't believe the stuff that makes its way down here. But we're probably gonna have to figure out when we get topside if these are ghostly or not.
Either way, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, a Super Bowl ring. Who'd have thought?
If it's real, maybe there's somebody looking for it. If it's not, well, imagine someone would be interested in it over at the market.
Might be useful unto itself if it's either way.
Uh,
Right, so what
so,
next, guys?
um, is that they had the little sign kiosks in the original mall, you know, the little map things.
Mhm.
Are those still around? Has anyone tried to update them in any way? Or are we just wandering a little blindly? 'Cause it feels
Yes,
like they might have done. Sorry.
you passed by one of the sign kiosks and it is there and it has absolutely been modified.
So why don't we go take a look and see if anything strikes our fancy or sounds useful to know about? Because we need to make friends down here, and this is one of the places I want to be making friends.
Right, so the group of you looks over the signboard. There's about 20 different shops here, all specializing in different things. Uh, there's a jewelry shop, a high-end restaurant, an arcade, clothing stores, a liquor store, and there's a sign showing access to the other side, the bar and hotel that you were told about earlier.
Anywhere that looks like they might be selling memories around here?
Not in the Dead Mall.
Okay. Maybe that's a low class thing to be trading in.
Are there any bookstores?
Yes.
We should go to the bookstore.
All right. The group of you head off to the bookstore that was shown on the map. It's a relatively small store. It looks like it may have been a Borders in life, so being used for the same thing in death makes sense. Uh, but the branding has long since been removed. There are shelves all over the place, which are packed with a jumble of books. It looks like the employees here are doing their best to keep them in order uh, by alphabet and by type, reference books, things like that. You also notice what appears to be a couple bouncers throwing out a ghost dressed in rags with what appears to be a paperback book shoved halfway down his mouth.
You know, when my dad told me that he used to devour books when he was a kid, I don't think this is what he was talking about.
Right. Do you guys want to go in?
Yeah, I think we should go in.
Well, what are you going to look for? Because despite being fairly messy by human mortal standards, this is just a bookshop.
I have a couple of ideas, but Ty, you seemed excited. Was there anything you were particularly looking for?
No, I just thought this would be a good place to know about.
And Tibbs, is there anything you're specifically looking for?
Not specifically, but I do want to see what they have in the history section.
Question, Kenny. Does every book here look like a book, as in like full ass binding and everything, or are there anything like a bunch of pieces of paper stapled together with a lot of words on them?
While most of the books seem to be mainly the sort of paperbacks and hardbacks you'd find in a mortal bookstore, just older. There is a section that's cordoned off behind the checkout that's labeled uh, Secrets. Read what books have destroyed so no one can find it. Here in the underworld for your perusal.
Okay. Ethan,
Yeah.
I need you to flex your wad at that counter until we can walk back there and start looking as hard as you possibly can. I need you to act like you are fucking Saudi Arabian heir going into a hotel and expecting to buy the place.
All right.
I follow your lead.
I I step up to the counter, pull off my smartwatch, show that it's still working.
The ghost behind the counter is wearing a matching set of uh, denim shirt and jeans. He strokes his face, and you notice as well he wouldn't look out of place on the surface. I'm not sure what kind of watch that is, but it does look valuable. Are you looking for something?
Well, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm new to you. I was hoping that you could show me to some of your books on local history.
I was wondering if you happen to have a trade in any police reports back over in that section.
Oh yeah, he says. Uh, they get burned all the time. We find them floating down the sticks pretty frequently.
Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if you can help us find what we're looking for. If so, that that watch is yours as well as an explanation on how it works.
Well, I live to serve. How can I help you, Sin Eaters?
So out of character explanation to cut like 3 hours of talking here. We are looking for stuff relating to a certain murder taking place at a gym, possibly known as Houlihan's at the time in Whispering Peaks, but it's the only gym. You know, it's not like we could mistake it for another. A series of grisly murders at prom in '88, and anything that might have been burned recently while looking into our own deaths, I would guess.
Yeah.
Hmm. When you talk to the clerk about looking for something pertaining to Houlihan's gym, uh, he taps his chin for a few seconds and says, "Okay, I think I might be able to help you there." He goes back behind his counter and starts looking through the shelves. There, you do notice, as he mentioned, there is an entire shelf dedicated to police reports, medical data, and other sensitive reports. He comes back a few minutes later and says, "I thought I'd remembered something about that. I have some police reports right here. You said a murder at a gym, right?"
Might have been an accidental death on that report. But death at a gym, yeah.
He rifles through a few and say, "I think this is it." He hands you a police report dated 2005.
That's about right. So I started looking through it.
I reach into my bag and pull out. Yeah, this makes sense for me to have a bottle of protein powder, the whole mix with a drink. This would be a large number of servings still kicking around in this thing. Set on the counter. Notice you got some medical data back there. That's real interesting. It's real interesting. Hey, Tibbs, you've got our notes. Can you please tell me Sarah's last name? Because it is gone. My brain is just completely fucking launched it into orbit.
Williams.
You happen to got a Sarah Williams back in among there? Should be recent stuff, maybe 2023?
Yeah, I think so. He comes back, rifles through it, and comes out with a manila folder. Lots of people burn and shred sensitive data, so it all ends up down here.
You know, you seem like a right awesome fellow. Might have you keep an eye out for some stuff. Maybe set aside for us and let us know if you see anything, you know?
Sure can. He grins and says, "Most folks don't, when they make the trip downstairs, don't go back up. So I could see folks like you who spend a lot of time topside having some use for our wares. Usually, this is just some stuff people like to read for the fun of it. You know, nothing quite like reading through some police reports to find out what happened to your neighbor after your funeral."
Fair enough. I mentioned the dates, both where the police found our bodies and the dates of our own death. If you get any police reports that focus around those two dates, set them aside. I promise that we're interested.
Sure, I don't have anything like that yet, but if I see him, I'll let you know.
I am not
And
reading this here.
At the moment, you hear a polite cough and a clearing of a throat from behind you.
I turn around to see who it is.
The group of you three, the group of five sees several large, muscular, heavily armed ghosts. By heavily armed, baseball bats with nails in it, um, an axe, things like that. One of them steps forward, flashing a crude badge. "Sin Eaters, uh, Lord Paramount Gilt Skull wants to see the three of you."
Absolutely. Let me just wind up our purchase here and we'll come with you absolutely. None of us are interested in violence, I assume.
The constable nods and puts his hands behind his back, waiting politely. "What do you say, Nathan?"
I'm talking to the constable and his heavily armed henchman. And I just said, "Oh, excellent. That's who we were actually looking for next. Thank you. This will be a lot easier."
Aggressive innocence. Set out of character. Set out of character. We pay. I believe we'd already negotiated what we intended to pay, and we've got all the things on the counter here. And we're not reading any of that until we're away from all the people that an unleash would have a problem with. So, I tuck that all into my bag, and we get going.
So the constables form a circle around your group. They are not in any way attempting to force you, but they are close, perhaps a little too close for comfort, and you can feel that they have their eyes on you. Hey, don't eat my computer!
Kazuo, everyone, except no substitutes.
God damn that.
Looks like he's
I'll be
getting a
right back.
toothbrushing tomorrow. So, anyways,
Oh,
guys,
this is fun.
we're gonna be dealing with our big ghost dude. One, we are not reading these things until we're topside and ideally away from anybody we're worried about hurting. I got a specifically non-haunted place to go. If you guys want to hit my uncle's fishing lodge to wrap us up.
Okay.
It is the only non-haunted safe place we've got right now, which is specifically for that.
So, uh, the group of constables lead you out of the dead mall and across the parking lot. You walk for another 10-ish minutes before they stop outside of a high wrought iron fence. It's about 20 feet tall, you'd guess, and has been crudely put together from pieces of fencing fished out of the rivers by the looks of it. Behind it, you can see several quaint cottages, about, you'd probably guess 30-ish, with the fence surrounding them. These are the kind of older houses that you could see topside in the mortal world. They have brick streets and everything, very intentional, unlike the rest of the buildings around here. Before you can admire the buildings much, you are confronted by a ghost being flanked by several guards. This, you think to yourself, must be Guilt Skull. He's a skeleton, and he is, as promised, covered in gold. All of his bones seem to have been dipped, perhaps individually. He's dressed up like a fine gentleman, wearing a vintage top hat, a three-piece suit, and a bow tie. He's also wearing what appears to be a luxuriant purple fur coat and carrying a oak cane with a brass knob on the end. He waves it around at the three of you. Sin eaters, I should have known. What do you have to say for yourselves?
Hello, it's
Lovely.
lovely to meet you.
Sorry, y'all talked at once, so I couldn't quite hear any of you. Nathan?
I said, hello, it's lovely to meet you.
Ethan?
I don't say anything. I just read the room.
Ty?
I was doing the exact same joke, so I just smile and wave.
The golden skeleton, that is Gilt Skull, looks at you from empty eye sockets. Playing dumb, are you?
Being that this is the first time we've been down here, unless stopping somebody committing a crime is something you'd be upset about, I don't know what you could possibly be mad about, sir.
He sniffs harshly through the nostrils of his skull and knocks on the gate of Old Town with his cane. It is hurriedly opened by a few of his attendants. Then let me show you. He leads you a few hundred yards into the area. There you see atop the wooden wreckage of a few cottages, a massive wooden platform. In the center of it, there is a chain, each link bigger than your torso, reaching up, 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 up to presumably to the ceiling of the cavern. The platform has a metal ring around the edge, and you can see that some words are carved into it. And dancing in around the chain with their hands clasped together, you see the ghosts of 7 of your classmates.
So, good news. I do think I know what could have caused that, though I don't know what it is that happened. But I have a most excellent alibi for why it's not our fault.
Gilt Skull looks at the 3 of you, then to Gus and Lucy. Oh, and I see you've brought a living person down here too. Wonderful.
We're just visiting, and I'm sorry. Apparently, we're under 18 and needed a chaperone.
Gilt Skull waves his cane at Nathan. You look like you can hold a conversation the most out of the 3 of you. Tell me, your muscle-bound friend says that you have an alibi for why you didn't drop this on our heads. Please explain.
Oh, well, I think that's pretty simple. I would like to roll composure and persuasion with de-escalation specialty.
I'll allow it. You're also at a -3 penalty because he's at a hostile disposition to you.
One success.
One success is
a success.
a success. So what are you telling Lord Giltskull?
Nathan, would you stop that? Sorry. No.
More cat problems.
Same cat. Nathan simply turns around and pulls his baseball cap off of his head to show the back of his head. And he goes, "We were rather indisposed at the time."
He looks at the back of your skull and up to the platform. He walks in a circle around the 3 of you, looking at you intently, faces, musculature, and then he goes up to the platform with the dancing ghosts of your classmates and does the same to them. They do not seem to even register his presence. Lord Giltskull comes down and says, "You do look about the same age. What do you have to do with these people then?"
We were killed at the same time.
"I see." He grinds the tip of his cane into the dirt. "It makes sense. I was thinking, if Sin Eaters had done this, then of course they would come down here to see where this landed. We can't remove it either. Not only is this platform extremely heavy, but it's anchored into the rock."
Well,
Good.
maybe we can help.
Could I try
I
talk?
I can't hear what Nathan said. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Ty.
Um, maybe we could try talking to them. They might be willing to speak to us since we'd be familiar.
I think that sounds like a lovely idea. Perhaps we could get them to move, or we could figure out how to help unanchor, and if nothing else, we can bring jackhammers.
So you're going to try to talk to the ghosts on the platform?
Yeah.
Uh, the three of you attempt to talk to the ghosts of your classmates. There are 7 of them, their hands joined around the chain as they dance in a circle. But they're unresponsive to you or anything that you say. Their eyes don't even appear to be focusing.
Um, Permission to for rash action from the group?
I mean, if any one of us can do a rash action, it's you.
Am I allowed by the group to perform a rash action?
Go for it. Why not?
I physically attempt to stop one of the dancers from dancing. How about stamina plus athletics to hold someone in place?
Go ahead, make the roll.
All right. So that's 5 plus 4. Can't think of a joke to call hockey in. Man, I'm really letting the side down on not getting that +2 everywhere I can. But
I'm
hey,
not a
9
sports
dice ain't
guy. I do
bad.
hockey tackle.
I mean, yes.
Yes, actually, straight up, but I still got a success on this roll, so I'm just going to stick with it. I could do a body check, but let's go with this.
Ty grabs one of the ghosts of his classmates, dragging them out of the circle. The other remaining 6 simply join hands to fill the gap and continue dancing. The one that you're holding, completely unfocused, is moving as if he were still part of the circle, hands outspread as if he were holding them, feet doing dancing movements. After a few minutes, he disappears into mist, and so do the 6 ghosts dancing in a circle. Lord Giltskull makes his way onto the platform, getting help climbing up from his retainers. "We've tried the same," he said. They'll be back in in about 24 hours."
How big is this thing?
The platform itself is about 20 feet in diameter.
And the chain goes as far up as we can see, huh?
It goes up as far as you can see.
Stupid question,
Now-
sir. Sorry.
What is Nathan?
No, go
Nathan.
ahead. I have got a separate thought.
Stupid question, sir, before we duplicate even more effort. Has anyone climbed that thing?
Yes, he said. I've ordered some prisoners up the chain. It goes all the way to the top of the cave.
Does it go through the roof, or is it just sticking out of the roof?
Through. Looks like it's anchored somewhere topside.
Interesting. Okay. I have an idea here, but I'm gonna need some help. First, is there a location that might be a bit more convenient for this thing to be stuck?
Lord Giltskull gives you a look that you think if he had flesh and eyes would be as if he were looking at you if you were dumb. No, it's a massive metal chain with a hook on the end. I don't want it anywhere in the city.
Right, but that's not an option. So where would you like it? I can move it.
Maybe on the other side of the lake. There are other tableaux that show up there like this one occasionally, but we've never had one come down from the city on a platform.
Okay. Okay. To make this happen, I'm gonna need a lot of plasma.
You got everything I got, dude.
Also, before you do this, do you want to investigate the platform? Because it's probably going to be in a somewhat less put together state when you're done. Nathan, what were you want to say?
Yeah, you had said something about markings around the edges, and I'd like to see what they said. I have language Latin, if that helps.
All right, roll. Whoever wants to do this, give me an investigation roll. Intelligence plus investigation or wits plus investigation.
I got 4 on that. Might as well throw it.
I got 5.
All right, rolling as a team or separately.
I'll add mine to them.
I'm sorry, I was looking at so what was the dice pool again?
Wits or
plus
intelligence plus investigation.
2 for whoever's leading the channel.
All right, I'm gonna roll to assist on this one.
Okay.
And it's a -3 since I don't have any skill thoughts in it. 1 success for me.
All right, so Nathan, that means you'll have a +3 bonus.
Shit.
I spent a willpower and gained an exceptional success.
All right. So Nathan, with the help of the rest, are investigating the area. Several pieces of information are come out to bear. Number one, the first thing that you notice is inscribed at one point on the edge in gold lettering, which is different from the rest of the markings. The words Dance Macabre. The rest of the rim is covered in inscriptions of Memento Mori. Multiple of them are crossing over each other. You also notice that they are inscribed sort of willy-nilly, like there's no real plan or cohesion. Then, as you're looking around further, you notice that the wooden platform, while looking solid from a distance, likewise is improperly built. It's huge and heavy, but it doesn't look like someone had sat down to plan this out. There are multiple types of wood, all burnished in different with different glazes, running in different directions. It looks like someone had made a bunch of different works of art and stapled them all together to create this platform.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
This is just all over our desks.
Before we leave, I saw all the students dancing around. They are our classmates. Between the three of us, I am sure that all of us could get the names. I'm not interested in making you produce 7 names off the drop of your head, but can we have noted down who they were?
Yes,
It feels like something we would have done.
makes sense. You would definitely recognize all 7 of them. I
And
will say that Lenore was not among them.
thank you. And I assume Sarah Williams isn't among them either.
No.
So, I hate to say I don't have absolute faith in you, Ethan, but how are you moving this thing?
Okay. Then use my key and marionette. And I'm just gonna start burning plasma until I have enough to move something of that size.
All right, let me take a look. How many points do you have in the marionette font?
Just the one.
Let me see if there's a limit on the size.
Assuming I succeed, it's a creature or object of plasma spent size gains the marionette condition.
Yeah, and you can spend up to 3 plasm on the first dot.
This is definitely more than a size 3.
Actually, give me a second to take a look at what's at the size chart briefly.
Well,
Okay.
a human is size 5 and I'm size 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely more than size 3.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, the call. Physically.
I
Sorry.
think we have a
Ethan?
way to move this. It's just not something we can do right this moment.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, I feel like it's already being disassembled.
oh, yeah, it's coming from up above, isn't it?
This is the Danse Macabre. This is the tableau of our death. This is the warehouse. It's why everything is so patchy, because he cobbled together all of our deaths in a dozen different fashions, and there's only 7 left because the cops have already found the warehouse.
Were there
did you
more
say that
people?
out loud?
No, I did not say that out loud. Sorry, that was completely out of character.
So, question, sir. Were there more people around before, or has it always been the 7?
No, just these 7.
And stupid question. Was this platform larger when it arrived? Or has it just
No,
looked like this?
no, it's been like this the whole time. If we try to move any of the ghosts out of their tableau, they disappear. He shrugs and
So,
says, "These sort of things happen, just not in the middle of the city and not like this."
I think I know where the other end of the chain is, and I think the easiest place to unhook this from is going to be there. The problem is it's topside.
He snorted. Well, I didn't expect you to actually be able to move it anyway.
Well, we'll do what we can to move it or disassemble it or get rid of it.
We're just as upset that this thing is here than you. After all, we apparently our bodies went into the Foundation.
You, Lord Giltskull still looks highly annoyed. He tapping his golden skeletal fingers against his cane. But he doesn't seem like he's actively hostile to you anymore. He sighs deeply. So, if I'm getting this right, a lot of you were killed at once. And 3 of you happen to become sin eaters.
A,
How many of you were killed?
a literal busload.
Out of
I
character, do we know the exact number?
Yeah, there were 30 people in your class.
Plus the bus driver, plus the teacher.
That'd make 32.
So 32 of us.
He shrugs. I don't understand this. I've never heard of someone making a tableau, especially not from topside. Usually they just kind of pop up. Ghosts get caught in a story while they're traveling. You can't make them give it up until they give it up themselves. So most of them just stay there until their essence weakens and the underworld consumes them.
huh. Well,
I don't want
there
that to
haven't
happen to them.
there haven't been sin eaters in Whispering Peaks until us for 50 odd years, from what I was told. So we've either got a necromancer up there playing with stuff they don't understand, or Whispering Peaks is throwing out another Mickey again. Sir, I don't know how to ask this, but if we come back down here with more information, are you interested in having us stop by, and where can we meet you at?
I'm usually holding court from Gilt Skull Manor, but City Hall is where I would be if there's a council meeting.
Thank you. And just a question, because we are new here. Is there a town map that we could have?
He signals to one of his flunkies, who hands you something drawn on a sheet of paper. These are expensive. They're handmade. So I won't charge you for this one, Sin Eaters. But if I see you again, you better have some answers for me.
I take a picture of the map and give it back to him.
Your phone happens to work perfectly. The picture is taken and the map is recreated.
Hey, Nate, Ethan, can you grab pictures of all the memento mori inscribed around as well?
Just
Yeah.
get a lot of photos of the scene if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone camera's garbage.
Yeah.
He lifts up an old Nokia. It's got a phone, but like, I mean, it got a camera, but like, it's sorry. They keep breaking in my bag.
Yeah. I get pictures of the entire the crime scene, as it were. No. I look over to Guild Skull. You want to do a selfie?
Well, I never. Is that a camera machine?
Yeah. And if I wanted to, I could I don't know, Morse code it to someone on the other side of the world in seconds, too.
My goodness. The future of 1950 must be very advanced.
Oh,
Unless it's longer?
20,
What year
2023,
is it on the
baby.
surface?
It's 2023, sir.
2000? And Christ hasn't come back?
Uh, if he has, he's been awful quiet about it, sir.
Well, I'll have to gloat to the father about that later.
Don't give the man a hard time about his faith. Let him have what makes him, what comfort he can get.
I believe in only what I can see, young Sin Eater. I don't know what one of these selfie things are, but I would most assuredly like to partake in the camera box.
All righty.
We get a selfie with Guilt Skull. Group photo, baby.
The photo comes out perfectly as long as you're in the underworld.
I asked to have the map for keeps.
Sure.
As long as it works, as long as we're in the underworld for
Just in
the
case.
selfie, yeah.
So do you want the paper map too?
Yes, please.
Just in case the photo doesn't turn out. Old
Guilt
photos
Skull
broke.
gives it back. He seems to be in an extremely good mood. Well, Sin Eaters, I appreciate your work, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say. And I will reward you handsomely for information on who's been uh, knocking down cottages. They are very important to the economy.
Absolutely.
We are dedicated to your economy.
And if you can think of anything you might need from the surface that isn't showing up here on your schedule, we can always talk about doing some direct deliveries.
This does bring up a fabulous opportunity for trade. I will certainly have to think about that, young man. But unfortunately, I have a council meeting to attend. So I must bid you adieu.
And we've got a
You,
home to get to.
should you come back down, Purgatory Junction is yours to wander.
Oh, we're absolutely coming back. That chicken was fantastic. You should definitely stop by and taste some.
Letty is famous. I've tried to buy her multiple times, but the man is stubborn. I understand, though. I wouldn't give up something as valuable as a chicken.
Rumor has it that he's working with some up and coming sin eaters on exclusivity contract for some new product.
Ah, you're not half so stupid as you look, young man. There's definitely opportunity for profit here for all of us.
It might be in your best interest to buddy up to compete with them.
Anyways, let's get moving. So we're gonna make our way towards the exit because I don't want to be down here much longer, and we have probably worn out Gus's and Lucerne's patience.
So you guys are gonna go back up to the same gate.
Yes.
Well, we do have the cord around us, and it feels weird to not go and deal with that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I feel like we can find the other Avernian gates with a little creative dowsing, shall we call it? Hockey stick dowsing.
So you guys want to head home.
Yes, I would like to make one tiny detour, but I need to roll common sense first. Could you still have those questions up?
Jeff, would you put them up on the screen?
I will find them as quick as I can. As you know, I've not got everything prepped, but I try harder. All right. Yay! I've got it and everything. Okay. There we go. 4 questions. What is the worst choice? What do I stand to lose here? What's the safest choice, and am I chasing a worthless lead?
Penny, I am presented with 3 options. 1, I can do nothing and I can go home like a good little boy. 2, I can upend a bottle of cologne that I keep in my bag for if I ever meet someone of the female persuasion. And empty it out. So I have this nice little airtight container, and I could get a bottle of water from the river Styx to take back. 3 is a secret third option that I don't know. What is the worst choice?
Roll wits plus composure, because that you do have to roll that according to the merit.
I used a willpower because I want to be really sure. 4 successes.
Well, I don't know what the third one is, but out of just leaving or stopping to get water from the river Styx, the underworld rivers do have an effect. So just leaving, I suppose, would be the worst option.
So we carefully, without putting flesh into the water, we lower the bottle down, scoop up some water inside of it, and seal it carefully before leaving. Leaving a part of hell smelling terrible.
All right. So otherwise, you're heading towards the Avernian Gate.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
And
After about half an hour of walking, you end up near the gate, back at the spring. As the 5 of you attempt to get near the stairs, you hear a polite cough, and the old Father Calavera steps out, blocking the entrance to the stairway.
Hello, Father.
Please, he says, please, I was hoping that you would see sense. I will let the living woman pass, but the rest of you are dead. You do not belong above. Please stay.
And
Sure.
it's not your place to judge. Move.
I have
I
never had.
apologize. Go ahead.
Nope. You guys are doing the talking. The moment the talking ends is my turn.
What did you say? Was
I
the 3, 2?
apologize.
Go on.
I apologize for my friend. He's a little on edge, but our place is above. We're working with Mr. Gilt Skull to remove the tableau in Old Town, and we have to do that from above.
The old man sighs. I hoped you would see reason. He reaches into his frock and pulls out an ornate mask that looks like a Mexican sugar skull. We ride again, old friend. He puts the mask on.
I trigger my key and don the cowl.
He puts on the mask and is enveloped by a swirling vortex of ectoplasm. You can see images in it. Perhaps memories. A horse riding across the desert. A church. A gunfight. The ectoplasm clears, and he stands up. He is no longer a small old man. He is now taller than Ty. roughly 8 feet tall. He's wearing a brown duster over a brown shirt underneath it. Underneath that is a Catholic frock with a clerical collar. In one hand, he holds a brass revolver, and in the other, a Bible. Above his black cowboy hat, above his mask, you can see a black cowboy hat. He points the gun. I am the 6-gun saint, and I will not allow you to leave. The dead belong below.
All
Is
right,
it a
and
Can you put up the art that we have, Jeff? For those of us who are
yes,
still here, we've got a little treat. Our very own Untimely Rose has made art of the 6-gun saint for us.
and I will
hell
have a better way
yeah?
of showing that off next time. But this is what I have ready now. Hello,
Thanks
6-gun
very much,
saint.
Rose.
It's
Thank you,
amazing.
Rose.
So Kenny, I am currently in possession of a large hockey stick.
Mhm.
And I have got two lovely things I've spent merit dots on. The first being area of expertise, which bumps the bonus from a specialty to +2. And I have interdisciplinary specialty, hockey, which allows me to apply that to any skill where you may see it valid. I would like to roll strength plus weaponry using hockey because I am so familiar with wielding this stick in an attempt to apply force to things, especially other people. Hockey is a violent sport.
All right, no problem. Since this is a physical confrontation, you do need to use. You do get a penalty for his defense,
Yes,
so that'll be a -7.
naturally. But, you know what? That still puts me over the head. I still have dice.
All right,
And with
roll.
willpower, that puts me up to 4.
Can I assist?
I don't know if that's an
Not in
option.
combat.
Oh no, I was going to spray him with the water from the river Styx.
Oh! You do that first! That's way funnier.
So
I
I
don't know
hold
what
up.
that would.
Me neither. So I hold up my cologne bottle, which I will have you know actually costs $7. Um, and I spray it 3 times in a cloud towards Mr. 6-gun. I'm fancy pants.
All right, bear with me just a moment. I do have an answer for what this does.
I'm so sorry if this makes him stronger.
I'm worried that we're gonna get the Achilles answer, which would suck. By the way, the answer, if I can't put this guy down with a swing, is I'm cracking open the gate and we're running through. Are we all on board with that one? Because he is getting
Yeah.
exactly one shot. It's probably going to be at me because I'm the one swinging at him, and then we're getting the fuck out of here. I just want to make sure we're all on board with that.
Yep.
Sorry, I did not mean to press that, but I've committed to it, but that's not happened yet. I was changing over to another window.
All right, the water from the river Styx settles on the 6-gun saint in a fine mist. and immediately starts eating through the fabric of his coat and the flesh of his skin. Ah, Dios mio, he says, dropping to his knees.
All right. While he's on his knees, I'm going to take a very nice high stick to his face to the tune of 2 successes.
The six-gun saint is knocked over onto his side. You get the feeling that this is the best chance to escape you're going to get.
I turn the key of silence and become mute until the end of the story.
We run.
Chapter. The session one.
Right? So did you do that to unlock the gate from this side? Or do you do that to unlock a haunt or just for plasm?
Gate.
Okay. So the group runs up the stairs. It feels like it takes forever. And after several minutes, you can hear gunshots glancing off the walls of the tunnel behind you. But as you reach the gate and unlock it, you're able to slip through. As the gates begin to close themselves, you can see the six-gun saint's mask as he sprints up the stairway as fast as he can. The dead belong below, my children.
Then
Come
stay there!
back. The Avernian gate shuts.
Sorry, Tibbs, you were trying to say something.
No, it's good.
You sure, Ethan?
I I was gonna try and steal the mask off of him.
There is a way to do that, but you need his bane. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
And we do know that. I think.
The river Styx doesn't count as a bane?
No.
Alright. Oh, never mind then.
Sorry. Otherwise, Reapers wouldn't be much of a threat, unfortunately.
Oh, he's a Reaper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a death mask.
I
So, for
was-
those of you playing at home, a death mask is something you get when you kill a Geist. Reapers wear these and get the compulsion to bring ghosts to the underworld. And they're bad news, especially for Geist. You know, people who are ghosts, who are hanging out in the real world.
The five of you stand outside the gate catching your breath. Gus shakes his head fervently. We've got to go, he says. Reapers aren't stopped by Avernian gates for long. He can open them.
We should run.
Hey guys, I got a place that I'd love to go hang out with you guys. You ever gone fishing before? Let me show you my uncle's old fishing lodge. It's a great place, and not haunted for some reason. We got some fun paperwork to read. Tunk, tunk.
All right, and I think we should call it here. All right, everyone, let's go over everyone's aspirations. Who wants to start?
I can. Okay. I think we took a step towards finding the killer.
Yep, for sure.
I think it took a step towards getting to know Josie.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
I have not found out what the hell Myrtle is moaning about, but I do think I took a step towards it.
Definitely.
We went to hell. Stepping clear.
Yes.
And I think I did pretty well at supporting my crew.
Yes, that one as well.
Oh, can I get one quick pair of answers before we wrap this up?
Yep.
The 2 rings against my chest, are either of them real? The Super Bowl
The
ring
class-
and the class ring.
The class ring is material. The Super Bowl ring is ghostly.
Still cool. Anyways, get scouted for college hockey. I have both started going back to school and went to the gym. I'm getting back into the habits I need to be making progress towards that.
Yep.
Find the son of a bitch who took everything from me, a thing I will say every session for a while. We got a ton of clues today, I would say.
I would say too.
Get the crew together. We are officially a crew. We are all in it, and we have been bound suchly. Step and clear. Break on through to the other side. We went down to hell. We came back from hell. Feels like
Yep.
a clear. And bring back something useful from the underworld. I can list like 6 things that works for. But like we did.
Yeah.
So full marks.
Okay. So, get out of Whispering Peaks. I'm gonna say going to the underworld is not quite the same as actually leaving Whispering Peaks, but definitely a little bit of a rehearsal for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see here. Get a world record speed run. Well, we definitely moved fast at the end there, and um, definitely, and with the workout and stuff like that I did earlier in the week, being in better physical condition will actually help my reaction time when I'm speedrunning.
I'll give you that.
Also, you definitely beat Orpheus's big famous run. I'm sure we absolutely cleared it.
Sure, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
I'm just saying, we made it out.
And with everybody that I intended to, too. Learn the rules of the game. Yeah, definitely learned the both in and out of character a little bit more of the limitations of what I have, and learn the gaps. Yeah, definitely finding some gaps in the underworld economy that can be exploited. And last but not least, find Ty a new hobby. Well, he seems to enjoy going into caves, so that might be something to explore. Maybe he might be into spelunking.
Sure, why not?
We'll look into some stuff.
All right, and since this was your first trip to the underworld, which is something you're going to be doing pretty frequently, I'm rewarding everyone 1 XP for the session.
Woo!
All right, well, thanks for joining us. I know we ran a little late, everybody, but we appreciate everyone being here. We'll be back again on the 5th of October with our next session. Thanks, and I hope everyone has a good night.